Car goes by, it just smokes.
Okay, Penny's gonna start the video
Kim
back up.
Bennett.
Probably need to turn these back on.
You look like, what was that? Johnny Knoxville, they used to throw flour, they were sleeping. They called it antiquing.
I mean, it literally was like just, it's everywhere on me. My shoes get.
No.
You look like you're 150 years old, like.
The, over by the Porta John, the fence
Okay,
is cut. so
we
you
are
can get in
back.
there.
Okay.
Alright, welcome back to budget hearings.
I can take care of it.
If you need any money, let me know.
Oh, I think so. So we started with parks. Does anyone know if they are coming or not?
Well, Becky just got back with me. She says I'm leaving Rockville now. But if you have, should you just talk to her on the phone and answer? She can answer your questions.
Here's what happens if you try to hide from.
Sorry.
I wasn't hiding really.
Trying to shut this thing on.
Well, we can pull it up and see what we got. If anyone's, I was gonna say, normally they bring us like a sheet of like all they're going to do. They did bring us. Yeah. Back at the beginning of the year, they had said they were starting on some projects. I don't know if they got those started.
Well, it's 5 after, so and our next one is gonna be emergency management. They should be here in a minute.
So if you,
Just let her go ahead and drive over.
yeah, because I mean,
They have increased.
yeah, there's a lot of different changes on there.
Can we push emergency management up?
Yep.
Oh, good. They're
I'm
out.
gonna go do a building permit. I'll be back.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, emergency management's scheduled for 1:15.
We'll do them.
Yeah.
So we got about
Take
10
them if they're
minutes.
ready. Just move
Parks
them in.
Department has a lot going on there.
There's a bunch.
For anybody wondering,
Who's right
there
here
was a video on some thermal imaging instructions and how to use thermal imaging.
Mark's here now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark,
Coming on up?
good.
Hey, guys. Mark and Jimmy are here.
Come right in that slump.
You guys want to do the LEPC one first?
Sure.
Like to know?
Yep.
That's just, every year they budget every penny they have into lines. This isn't county money, this is money that comes from the state to them. It adds up, you'll see they got 36,000 right now. Last year we bought a drone with money from the LEPC. We're very limited on what we can buy. That drone is at the Sheriff's Department, and we are currently getting people trained so that we have a drone team in the county instead of a drone guy who's been running his ass off.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on that one? Nope. Okay.
This one, the only change would be the salary for the EOC. And that's gonna change anyway, because Jim's taking over and he's gonna be a 2-position person, so.
Rent didn't change?
What's that?
The rent did not change?
No. As long as Jack was the mayor, he told me the rent would never change. John's following through with that. So.
I don't have any questions. Anybody else?
Was that one I don't, hold on. As you mentioned one, Mark, that the emergency right to know one, right? Give me a second. Because I need to,
You need a copy of that one or something?
well, no, I got the budget. I'm not sure if that was one that I had a question about or not.
On the revenues?
Yeah,
Yeah, the revenue part.
He was missing a few of the revenues for different, smaller funds.
no, I had that one.
You had that
You
one?
I had that one.
Yeah, because we typically get right around $4,000, like 36 something, 37 every year. It changes.
I plugged in 39.
Yeah.
Um,
I know we got our money this year because it came in.
Yeah, it came in already, that's where I got it.
And all that is basically we have a bunch of buttons we have to push. As long as we get those, we get whatever money they give to each county, and it's based on your county size. We typically get just about the same amount every year. We don't think we've ever missed a year. We'd have to not turn in certain paperwork.
What's that?
Phone number?
The phone number?
Yeah. The England.
Oh, 0133.
No, the other one.
Oh, the, 1152.
So we get right around 4,000 a year.
It's like,
This
it's
was
just under 4, it's like
30, this was 394483.
Sounds about right.
Okay.
I remember seeing it when it came in, somebody sent it to me and asked me what it was for. I explained it, they said that it just went into the fund.
Okay. Perfect.
Oh, I got. Been one of the easiest ones all
Easy
day.
peasy lemon squeezy.
What's that?
You've been one of the easiest ones all day. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in early.
Yeah.
I was just. So budgeted that. The fund balance is that.
Yeah, they never spend it all.
Yeah.
They just budget it.
Yeah. That's what they raised. But I guess they've only spent. How come the fund balance?
Because they're only spending that.
Okay. Over the year, over
Yeah.
year. Okay. Because I'm like,
I mean, I think it's just keep
they
carrying
only
forward.
spent $60 some for this year.
$60.
You know what that is, that's a state funding game. Yeah, because their fiscal year ends on June 30th, so they wait to pay things until July, so.
Now, this year,
You plan on leaving supplies for 1152 the same, or?
Yeah, they just budget it out in
The
case
state
they need to
waits
buy
until
something.
July 1st to
As
pay
long as their
after
budget
July
falls
1st
within
to
their
pay
fund
things.
balance.
So that they have, their books look better, their fiscal year ends on June 30th.
I hate that.
Well, that was, we hadn't had anything yet, and I thought, that's weird. Yeah.
Too many paper, too many pieces of paper up here.
So you got like a thing, I got nothing.
For what? It was back in our regular meeting.
Oh,
Like when we did the pay change, they paid them different for like less weeks but more money.
Yeah.
It was back then. I can go make copies of it if you want.
You want me to buzz to probation, or do you want to wait for parks?
We'll wait for parks, because I imagine probation and the judge will come in together. That way, we can do that all at once. Unless Terry wants to come in for the courthouse instead of tomorrow. I don't think his budget was very, I don't think there's much change on it.
who was that?
Terry for the courthouse budget.
Courthouse.
Because there was not much change on that.
Something done.
I guess Jimmy was here, he could have just asked me if he wanted to do
Oh,
911.
we should have. Let me go look over the.
See if he's still here.
Over the thing.
Well, let me ask her. And then, if anything, like I said.
Or the recorder. Which is easy.
Monday.
She didn't ask for anything.
No, she was supposed to be, but then she picked us home, so she was really in.
was your,
He's coming, he's got his stuff in the truck.
Okay, that works. Now you won't have to come back tomorrow.
so Ashley, what was your opinion of our fleet process?
I don't think it saves us anything on the highway right now. We don't typically turn the trucks. And I think the capital, like where they were showing it, the savings of our capital investments, I think that's a dump truck. That's not the trucks. So really there's no, it doesn't generate the savings because we don't, the pickup trucks, we just run them till the wheels fall off. We don't budget those to be in the budget like we do the dump trucks. The sheriff's department, it depends on which vehicles they choose. If they choose a certain one, it's not going to make sense because we had to add money back in the budget later. It kind of offsets. If they pick different vehicles, it does do a cost savings. So
Plus how many vehicles? Who are we providing vehicles with?
he said they had like 5 extras when I talked to him the other day. So
Seems like a lot.
for either like if one's in maintenance or one breaks down or they have an accident, or he said the reserves, if they come and pick it up for their shift, they can come get it, but they don't take them.
They're not take-home vehicles.
That's what he told me the other
I
day.
say 3.
But
Who paid insurance on all that?
if they're willing to adjust which vehicles, I know they don't want the Rams, but the Fords are the most expensive. But the Silverados, because they hold more value on the trucks for resale, so it helps in turn lower the lease when they get rid of them. Sorry about that, Jimmy.
I just figured you guys missed me and wanted me to come back.
We did,
Yeah,
we
just
did.
gonna stay.
We were looking at the schedule, and I was like, well, that didn't make sense for him to have to come back tomorrow.
Not a problem at all.
I appreciate it.
I don't have my laptop with me.
Okay.
It's down at the office, so I know most of it from memory, but
Do you need a copy to look at?
that'd be great if I could, just in case you guys ask me a
I
question.
can give you
about
mine.
Okay. Didn't look like a whole lot changed. It's just, I mean,
Thank you, sir.
we kind of mentioned it earlier when we were talking about fund balances, that 911, we are spending more out of that fund than we receive every year.
Yes.
Previously, I'd written down we have about 262,000 in estimated revenue. I didn't look at this year's sheet.
I think it's 262,000 and some change is what we bring in a year.
So, so that's something to keep in our minds, is that eventually we're going to have to move some of these expenses back out into the general fund. We did originally pay some of the dispatchers out of this fund and some out of the general fund, but we had accumulated in a balance in 911, and so we've been using the 911 fund right now just to use that instead.
And the only reason that I wanted to stress on that is that it's good to keep a surplus in the 911 fund, so if something breaks or fails, I don't have to come ask the county for, a potential $200,000 fix. We can just take it straight out of the 911 fund, which is, what it's intended for. Because unfortunately, when these systems fail or break, they are costly, very. So that was my only main concern, was that going into the red on it.
The mass notification system, is that the text.gov now, or is
Yes,
that something
yep,
different? Okay,
yep.
I thought it was, I just wanted to clarify.
So I believe it's next month is when I'll be canceling the contract with Nixle, which is what we had, but we already paid it at the beginning of the year and we started TextMyGov. So I'm gonna send Nixle a notification come October to go ahead and not renew us for the following year.
Is that the whole cost of the text.gov? It says 7,000.
7,000.
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Because we actually had to petition the state of Indiana and the state 911 board for 911 to pay for that.
Okay.
And they approved it.
And we have his additional on Wednesday, correct?
Yes, we have you on the schedule for Wednesday.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody have anything else?
No, that's the only thing I do.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
Appreciate it.
First of all.
Yeah, I think we should use these as separate things.
Well, it used to be when some of these things, it's got telephone charges, so we haven't used it at all.
She goes back in. I mean, he's pretty good about not just spending it and spending it. I mean, I think.
But I'm like, okay. Zero. It's never been spent.
But if something does break, he can then transfer it to fix it.
True. Yeah, I'm fine. I just
Yeah.
did my due
His is,
diligence.
I feel like his is more time sensitive to get something fixed than just a, hey, I need this. Hi, Terry. Terry. Thanks for coming in.
You guys have your paperwork?
Yep.
Courthouse?
Yes.
Ain't gonna be fun.
Good old Rick.
I got it.
It didn't look like a whole lot changed.
Anything to help you on that one? I need you to.
Here, I got some.
Well, I might take them.
Take them.
You,
You'll look pretty.
much better.
I think that's it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Got it all on one page. Okay.
My glasses case.
Are we doing okay on the HVAC maintenance budget so far?
Well, as long as I can't get any, yeah, we're doing great. I've been waiting since December for 3 units.
Oh, wow.
They still have not.
Still haven't.
They changed the refrigerant, so they're redoing the whole factory. And it's taken
Wow.
quite a while.
So how much is a unit now?
Around 6,000, a little over 6,000 each for the consoles.
So we have 3 ordered.
Yes, but they are encumbered from last year, so as far as I know, we're good there, but the HVAC, let's see, I don't have my current, what I got left, but like I said, I can't spend it if they don't come in.
He's used 27.5 and 50.
Okay. So you're good there. How's the boiler doing? I know we've always talked about that being a possibility of.
Yeah, well, it trips out a lot now. I think they got it lined out. If it would happen to spring a leak, you know, in the coil or something,
It's still
it'd
hanging
probably
on.
be the death sentence, but who knows when that'll happen. It's lasted a lot longer than the original first one.
So what would
Got
be
those
the
ones
lead
under
time on
repower.
that?
Can we move them?
On the boiler?
We can.
Oh, I don't know.
One's brown,
I
brown.
haven't really,
They last how long?
well, I'm assuming these were put in 96.
30 years?
So there's a boiler at Ernie Pile, and they're redoing their system out there. So we're gonna talk about moving that boiler, which is not very old.
There's 2 of them out there. Did you come out and look at that?
Yeah, and then
just don't
I
want
talked to
this
someone
raising
from
over time
Sycamore, and they highly
$1 per hour.
recommended that you leave one in there for backup.
Cool.
Well, we'll have to figure that out, but I know there's one new one, the one old one. So
Mhm.
we're going away from all of them. They're gonna get split units. So,
But he's still saying though, if you get a really cold outbreak and those, you know, heat pumps are basically fair weather machines sometimes when you're using the outside air. But we don't have that problem because we've got the boiler maintaining 70 degrees to everything.
well, in theory, would those work for you?
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
What do you think, Kelly? Do you remember, were they a little bigger than the other ones?
I think you said it was just a little bigger.
They were a little bigger?
Yeah, around
100,000 or something, wasn't it? No, it'd probably be bigger than that. I think the one we got now is 1 million BTU, or maybe, I don't know. You caught me off guard here. I don't remember what it was.
Is it worth the money to investigate that, whether?
Yeah, we can, when it came up, we've got Hannah right now looking at all that stuff and an architect looking at all that stuff right now, and they've got their own engineer who's trying to figure all that out. So, I wasn't even, you brought it up, so I was trying to remember if you've been out there to look at that.
Yeah, Kelly and I, you know,
Okay.
maybe it was 900,000. Been too long ago, I don't remember. I know you said it was a little bigger than what you had. Yeah. I remember that. And they didn't want anything too big because of the short cycling, I guess. It starts and stops, starts and stops. So if it was a little less, it would take longer to catch up, which is
But then it's
better for the machine.
Well, we're gonna have to decide that.
Yeah, well, we'll just have to talk to them.
If that one were to.
I just put a bug in their ear to see what they thought.
Mhm.
I never did hear back from them, honestly.
If there were to be something go wrong with the one downstairs, we might be able to patch it up without having to buy a new one.
Okay. The part-time help, is that just an increase in that for the number of hours you need, or asking for an increase in the wage for the part-time help?
Probably the wage, because I don't think we can go any more than 29 a week, is what I was told.
Okay.
I think I gave everybody the same increase.
Okay. And just reminder, everyone else came in too, budget hearings are just like the informational. We won't actually formally adopt our budget until October. So. Okay, anything else for Terry? Nope. No? You have anything for, any other questions for us? Okay. Thanks for coming in early. Appreciate
No problem.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
See
you.
you guys.
See you, Terry.
All right, Becky. Becky's here for the perks.
Sorry, I was out running errands. I was in work.
It's okay.
No, it was today. Not sure who on the board got the message.
Oh.
And I don't have anything with me.
Good old Rick.
That's Ron's. I got a
You're on
new
it.
role.
You are on it. Here.
Here, I'll just stand over here with you.
Okay, thank you. All right. Well, that is kind of pretty, guys.
I know. Here.
You're
Brenda,
fine,
you
you're
need your
fine.
glasses back.
No, I'm good. I've got my contacts in. It's just.
I usually carry 2 pairs with me. I didn't today.
So, questions that you might have?
Hey, Beck.
Thank you.
There's just a lot of general increases.
Mhm.
I mean, is that, it didn't seem like it was based off of like what they've spent so far this year. Was that just kind of,
Gosh, these discussions were months ago.
Park can be a little weird because their spending is unequal throughout the year, I assume,
Yes.
so.
We're trying, I know we're trying to save up for some equipment and for some improvements in some parks as well. So I don't have the most recent of our, what we've expended so far this year.
okay, like what kind of, like playground equipment?
Is the clerical assistant a new position? I noticed it was budgeted last year.
Yeah, that actually is in the board members. That 6720 includes the clerical assistant.
Okay. Always prior to that, the secretary was a different amount than the board members. It was a higher amount.
Right, last year they changed it. Was it last year or 2 years ago? I can't
The
remember.
board, our board didn't change it.
Right, but they did.
Okay,
They changed it here.
okay, all
A
right.
couple years ago.
I think it
I
was a
know
couple
it
years
was,
ago.
it was desired from the board to get it back to where it was.
Have you added any parks?
Have we added any parks?
Yeah.
We have not added any
Do
physical
you
parks.
anticipate?
There's no way we can with the budget that we have.
I was just curious, I know the new,
The Osoniman?
yes, thank you. I didn't know whether they,
No.
Is that considered a park, or is that just a?
oh,
I was under the understanding.
looks
County
nice, looks like a
Highway-
park.
Yeah, County Highway was going to mow it. Not sure. That's my understanding.
We can ask the
Or DNR.
commissioners.
Yeah, I guess. Commissioners.
One thing that we would like to get in all of the parks is a generational swing. We've been talking about this for months, but they're expensive. Fairview just put one in. You got the baby swing on one side and the.
Yeah. Yeah, they put several items in.
Yes,
They don't
yes.
have a specific.
Those are just so wonderful because instead of the adult or whoever standing and pushing the smaller child, the toddler, they're actually getting some physical activity as well in swinging. So that's one thing we'd like to get in each park. They're about $1,500 each though, so they're pretty pricey. We've been looking at them since March. We'd like to do some upgrades at Hillsdale. We'd like to get disc golf in at Perrysville. We are planning pickleball at Miller Park. We've got the hard surface there, we just need to get a good surface for pickleball. It was a basketball court, but we've improved the basketball courts on one of the old tennis courts, so now we have that big asphalt area that's really not used for anything. So we're going to put we'd like to put pickleball at Miller Park. Which is nice because it's within 20 yards maybe of the main playground at Miller Park, so parents can play, kids are there, and they don't have to cross any roads, even within the park, to get to the playground.
Notice on grounds, what is that?
I'm sorry, grounds?
Yeah, it increased by about 10,000.
That would be, I wish our officers were here. Grounds is really anything to do with the parks, the grounds. And we have 8 parks. Where, 6 years ago, we had 6 parks. So we've added 2 parks, but the budget has been cut tremendously since that time period.
What 2 parks got added?
Dana and Trailhead. And we were doing, the staff was doing some mowing for the Historical Society and nonprofits when they were in the area, and we've cut all of that completely out this year. They were mowing at the county library, they were mowing at the old jail, the Ernie Pyle Museum, and the old Hillsdale Steps. And we cut all of that out, and those organizations now are having to find folks to do that. Which it only took them maybe 15 minutes at each location, which was, and they were there anyway with the mowers, but I know that from what I understand, the Historical Society's been struggling as far as that, to find the volunteers to do that, and they don't have the budget for it.
When's your next board meeting?
When's our next board meeting? Monday night at 5 o'clock at Newport Park. Not tonight, it's next Monday.
So it's the 4th Monday of the month?
Typically the 3rd, but there were several board members who had a conflict, so we moved it to next Monday.
Are these posted on the county's website? The
That I
meetings,
don't
so
know.
we can.
That I don't know.
What time?
5 o'clock at Newport Park. I am horrible at checking websites. I don't order online, I don't do much of anything online.
So are there currently any projects going on right now?
I'm sorry.
Are there currently any projects going on right now?
Not right now, to my knowledge, no.
Okay.
Just a lot of mowing. We are, but that's more of Vermillion. The park board works very closely with Vermillion Trails Alliance, and we are expanding that park So all that will be for the park staff is an increase of mowing of about a total mower width, a quarter mile, which is not much in a mowing. Once we get the pollinators. I would say we're partnering with VTA and SWCD on that, because through a grant with SWCD, they're paying for 75% of the pollinator placement, so.
I just noticed they moved labor and maintenance to part-time help.
I'm sorry, what?
Was there a reason? I just noticed that.
What was the question?
The labor and maintenance number got moved to part-time help.
They got moved to part-time help?
Yeah,
Is it because they're seasonal employees?
It really,
think so.
actually, it really shouldn't, because
I
they work
agree,
40,
but
yeah.
I'm just wondering on
We'll
a
need to
computer
move that back,
program,
yeah.
that would not have been us.
Yeah, we need to move
Yeah.
that back.
Yeah.
Because they are considered seasonal full-time, because
Right,
of
they
how
are.
many hours. they work.
Exactly.
I just noticed that.
So can I ask, who wrote this out?
They left that blank.
Oh, okay, so that is our fault. Yeah, that should be down under labor and maintenance, that's just filled out incorrectly.
Just the same amount from last year, or what amount would you?
Well, that,
Oh,
just move
just
that
the whole
down
thing
here.
down there.
Uh-huh,
Okay, it's
just move
not
that.
split.
Right,
Okay.
right.
So just move the whole amount.
Just move that whole amount down. Thank you.
How did it work out with doing the last week so far? Does it seem like it's gonna be okay?
I think it will be, I mean, simply because we're in a drought comparable to 2012. So right now, I think, we'll be, because they're getting some other things done because they've not been mowing as much. Pray for rain
Amen.
for everybody.
It poured at our house the other day.
Hmm?
It poured at our house the other day.
Oh, no,
Like,
no.
We got a sprinkle, and that was it.
20 minutes of downpour.
So their Parks Department had a budget of almost 63,000 last year that we adopted. And some of that's wages, but as of July 31st, they still had $74,702 that they have not spent.
Does that include the wages?
Mm-hmm, it does
Okay,
include the
yeah.
wage, which the wages will be completely
Is it
gone.
Yeah.
Parks that, am I thinking right that then Parks takes the money in their budget that isn't spent,
Uh-huh.
and they move it to this
The
thing called
non-reverting.
To
park
non-reverting, right, so we can save for a bigger project.
Yeah, so like that non-reverting capital improvement with the 8 parks where it's 16,000, well, it's 8,000, what they're asking
It
for
had
6.
always been, I mean, I came on the park board in 2009. Even at that time, $2,000 per park non-reverting, and last year that was cut to $1,000 per.
And we had no one at budget hearings last
I
year.
understand
And
that.
typically somebody does, like, you're here to
Yes,
say, hey,
yes.
we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. So we
Uh-huh.
didn't have any information last year.
I
And we kind
understand.
of figured if you had a project come up,
Mhm.
it'd be like, hey.
Mhm.
And then I think, was it last year? We had 15,000 in certified shares. We also just transferred funds that came out of too.
Okay,
Um,
to the park board?
mhm.
Okay, that's happened
So-
since.
Was
when-
that last year or the year before? We
Year
had the
before.
15. So in 23?
But it hasn't shown,
24.
it hasn't been reflected in
was
what
in
we get
24,
from the
so-
auditor's
It
office.
was
So, yeah, it
24.
was, so in
My
24.
daughter has it?
So in 22, it's not there for 25, because obviously we didn't,
No, but it's-
there were no projects
Okay,
listed.
That's in
okay,
the budget.
okay,
But in 24,
It was.
we had,
right,
it was, it just wasn't through the general fund where this is coming from, it
Mhm.
was through certified shares.
okay,
So, but without knowing of any projects
right,
going on.
right.
that's
Oh,
why.
there's always projects in the pipeline, always.
So. Any other questions for Becky? No?
We would like to get that non-reverting back up to $2,000 per park if that's a possibility.
Per park.
Per park. That's what it had always been. I mean, long before I was on the park board, before 2009, it was 2,000 per park. And we've used that for trees that are to be replanted during storms. We've used it, over the years. It's been used for a variety of things.
Okay. Anything else? No? Thanks for coming by.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're running right on time. Up next is probation. Hello.
Good afternoon.
We have your general fund probation office listed first, but we can do whichever one you've got. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that, looking at the increases, the increase in the probation officer's equipment, is that if you get the new officer?
Mostly, yes. We'd need to update some things if we picked up our new officer, new equipment.
So just make sure I'm on the right path. This would be probation officer 4.
Correct.
Is the increase in training and conferences then also due to an additional employee, or is that different?
Yes and no. Judge wants us to increase our training again and do more and get more training. Hopefully that'll be enough to cover 4 people. We've got several lined up for the beginning of next year, several trainings. And hopefully pick up a couple more for Ryan and myself before the end of the year, this year, that we'll be doing every year. But
The juvenile secure detention facilities, is that one being used much this year? I mean, in 24 I have that we used almost 46,000.
So far this year, we've used 26,300 as of July 31st.
26,000 so far this year?
the Juvenile Secure Detention Fund,
Yeah, it varies. I didn't know if you see.
It varies. The other thing is, one of the reasons that may be down some, and for the record, Chris Reed, Million County Circuit Court Judge, what we ran into is we had several facilities that closed as far as being able to detain juveniles. So we've had to look at what we're doing. Some of them have not been sent to secured facilities, or we've had to send them out to behavioral health facilities or some type of inpatient treatment. I will say this, we currently use Vigo County, Johnson County, and Clark County. Southwest, we just found out within the last week or so that Southwest is a facility we use quite a bit down in Vincennes. They have sold, and the new owners are going to be opening back up a juvenile secure facility there as well. So one of the reasons that detention has gone down some is because we've had to find alternative places to put them because they're full. You know, we have to go all the way down to the Kentucky state line to find a place now if Johnson County and Vigo County is full. So that is one of the reasons that there maybe hadn't been as much used this year, because the facilities just haven't been available.
Thank you.
And maybe just to jump in a little bit on the training and the increase on that. I believe that I'm from a law enforcement background, a training background. I'm a certified NRA firearms instructor in law enforcement. I believe that, and myself included, that if you are going to be in that position, as far as with probation officers, that they should have training, and I've been lucky over the years to have some very good training. That is one of the reasons that I requested that they increase that some so they could pay for the training. I believe in the state of Indiana, you have, for law enforcement in the state of Indiana, which under the statute probation is considered law enforcement, that you have certain standards you have to meet in firearms qualification, defensive tactics, so on and so forth. And in order to meet that, the cost of ammunition, the cost of supplies has gone up tremendously, and therefore that's one of the reasons that the increase in that is I believe that they should be sufficiently trained. And my standards, I believe, are the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy standards. So that's one of the things.
Your equipment and maintenance agreements with it 24 expended was like just under $800. I don't know what you're at this year, but would that be something we could maybe just move money from there to your training?
Yeah, 761. Sorry, I just put them in my mouth.
I would have to look to
Okay.
see what we've spent so far and what we need. It is something,
Because are your copiers under the big lease agreement?
No.
No, they're not. Okay.
it's our own
Is it-
copy agreement.
See,
So far this
every
year,
department's
as
been different. Like
Yeah.
it's
Well, we
That's why-
already had an agreement with Toshiba before the county went to Toshiba.
okay.
So our agreement was already,
Right. There were some that are not in that, so I wasn't sure.
yeah, no,
when does it expire? Do you know?
it just renewed.
Oh, okay. It's 761 is what you spent so far as of July 31st in that line item. And since it was similar to the other year, we were just questioning if that was like the total or if it was just a coincidence.
I'm not sure what else falls underneath that, as far as the mechanism agreements for the rest of the year.
There are some other things that will fall underneath that, but not right at the moment.
Okay.
I had two questions. One I wrote down, and this kind of comes back to our conversation back in July. I kind of asked the question about equipment needs versus full-time equivalent as far as employees. You mentioned bracelets, ankle bracelets. I mean, is there any way we can get more product? Not saying that I'm not going to add a person, but maybe you get, instead of getting one, you get 1.5 by having some equipment. That helps with the caseload or whatever, workload. Do you have any more information as far as equipment that would need, that you could get, that maybe you don't have budgeted for, that would help in this?
Not necessarily helping the aspect we need. There are things out there. There's different types of kiosks that basically set up kind of like the things you see in the mall, where you could put one in, let's say Clinton PD, where people could go in and check in and it scans their face. They could actually blow into the thing and it do a breathalyzer on them. You can't do a drug screen or anything like that. The problem with us is we need somebody to help with either writing reports and going out in the field and making contact with the people we're supposed to be making contact with. For our low-risk offenders, something like that would be great, but at the same time, we need to focus on the higher-risk offenders on our caseload.
Okay. The other thing was vehicles. I know we're kind of talking about this fleet thing. Do you currently use county vehicles, and if so, how many do we currently now use?
We have a hand-me-down from the sheriff's department that has $240,000 or 220,000 miles on it. We were fortunate enough to get one of those from Sheriff Holcamp. Again, the problem is, there's 3 of us, and that doesn't really give us enough people to get out of the office to go use it like we need to be using it. But
The other thing is so-called, if they move forward with this idea, if that vehicle breaks down, there is no replacement, so-called in the future.
right, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, they asked about our vehicle budget, and we don't really have a vehicle budget.
And I know one of the things with that vehicle as well is sometimes there is security here at the courthouse that they all drive, most of them drive their POVs to the courthouse. If under the circumstances they have somebody run out of the courthouse or take off, flee, they have no vehicle that they can get in to pursue that is a law enforcement vehicle. And so probation kind of shares that as well under the circumstances, as far as if needed by security here at the courthouse, that they would have that option to use that as well.
So just having a pool car really doesn't help you guys, then you're saying more of a police pursuit vehicle?
Well, the vehicle that they have now does have lights in it to a certain extent, if needed by law enforcement in the courthouse. Because under the circumstances, you have to, under state law, to pursue somebody or whatever, you have to have either be a full uniform or a marked vehicle. And under these circumstances, I was noticing, and one of the things to talk with Holcamp was that there was no vehicle here if an officer at the courthouse needed a police vehicle. If an emergency circumstance arose, they can't use their POVs or personally owned vehicles to do anything, so they're just sitting here doing nothing and have to watch the person go into the distance until other law enforcement can arrive. So probation utilizes it, and hopefully we would never need that for a security here, but that is kind of a backup vehicle for security if they did need it. But probation is to utilize that and has that vehicle to utilize from the sheriff's department.
So I'm just going to come back to, I'll say an earlier comment. With our vehicle fleet, we need really a plan, and I don't know what the plan is, but over the years, we've just been kind of passing them out here and passing them out there, but it sounds like we really need a plan how we're going to use our vehicles. So I guess suggest we, commissioners, us, try to come up with a plan on how to use our money wisely for our county fleet.
And I think one of the things with this is, as Dave said, this was a vehicle that was probably going to be scrapped because it was 240,000 miles, and 240,000 miles in a law enforcement vehicle is a lot different than 240,000 on a POV, and so they're not in the best shape. They still limp along, but I think that and I understand what you're saying, and I'd be willing to meet and try to help out in any way we can, but I think it was a situation where it was a vehicle that was no longer conducive for law enforcement use necessarily, so Mike was trying to help out probation by having one there, but as far as it's on record where it's at, and if you guys would sometime like to sit down, I'd be more than happy to sit down and come up with ideas on how that would, but it is beneficial. They don't take it home. It sits here at the courthouse, and they just take it like Ryan, if he has to go visit a juvenile in northern Indiana, then he would drive that, because before then it was costing the county mileage, and it was also putting depreciation on their POVs, and so this is one of the ways to try to help out with that as well.
So the usage of your travel budget now is a combination of fuel for that vehicle and mileage? I assume.
Yeah, we've always used it for mileage up until, well, we got the car this year, so, and
Yeah,
depending on how the car holds up.
and like any oil changes and that stuff.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, this is an awful wall comment or question. May not even be appropriate, I don't know. But I'll ask it. Instead of some of our individuals going to probation, what if they just serve jail time? Does that alleviate our probation issue, or, I mean, I don't know, I'm
Yeah.
just throwing that out.
And under the circumstances, that is an option, but you still have to, I mean, then you put the cost on the jail, as well. So it's a kind of a trade-off to a certain extent. And there's some individuals that do deserve to be incarcerated because of their path. And then there's some that don't, okay? I mean, as far as that, and one of the things we're trying to do and with probation is trying to make a better decision on who is somebody that is appropriate for probation, who's somebody that's appropriate for West Central Regional Community Corrections on in-home detention, and who's appropriate for to have incarcerated time. One of the things that we're seeing, and I see a lot of, is probation revocations that are coming back in, and we're dealing with them as far as we go forward. But there is the DOC has the same problem. They don't want them, and so what's happening under the circumstances is they're just refusing to take inmates that are sentenced to the DOC. So they're remaining out here at the jail. So sometimes it is a very, in being able to, sending somebody to the DOC or to jail, you're actually putting more cost on the county because they're having to remain out here because the DOC won't come and pick them up. Even though there is a statute that says once somebody's sentenced to the DOC, they're supposed to pick them up within 5 days. But the DOC is a creature of its own, and they kind of do what they want. But with what you're saying is you have to look at each case. Supreme Court says you have to look at each case on a case-by-case basis, and you have to have aggravators and mitigators. And when you have a sentence that is predominantly mitigators, it's going to come back on you if they appeal that, if you sentence them to straight executed time. So the court, as well as probation, and probation guides the court, there's circumstances where you can't, because otherwise you would be violating what the case law says as far as you're aggravating and mitigating. There's a sentencing criteria statute that you have to follow as far as when you're sentencing somebody. So if there's not the history there, the case by case, looking at them case by case, then the court just can't willy-nilly say go to jail instead of probation. Now I do know in conjunction with, there's been a lot of cases, misdemeanors and stuff, that the state, along with the public defender's office, has been working to get, in some of the cases, the misdemeanor, not any felony, but the misdemeanor, if they're in jail for a period of time before they get the case resolved, to sometimes do some time served pleas if it is close to or somewhat in accordance with what the sentencing range is. And so that has been trying to utilize that in order not just to place them on probation. They've served the amount of time which is reasonable in the jail prior to getting to the resolution of case, so then move forward from there. So there's several different things that we're trying, but the other thing, as soon as we try to fix one, then something else comes along. And just briefly on that, juveniles are gonna start taking up a lot more time of probation and the court for two reasons. One, that we no longer have peer court. That was an avenue that helped alleviate some of the stress and strain on the probation department as far as that. So we don't have peer court, and then with the new laws that went into effect on truancy with what the schools are required to do, and part of that is if there is so many, and I won't belabor it because I discussed it a little bit during the council meeting in August. But in essence, if a student misses so many days, the school is mandatory required to send a probable cause affidavit for juvenile delinquency or criminal charges towards the parent. And in order to make it, so that is something the state is requiring the schools to do. Since we no longer have the peer court because Tia went to work for another agency within the county, we are in the infancy stages of trying to get together the administrators of the schools, the SROs, the probation department, the prosecutor's office, law enforcement, to try to come up with a program that will be as good or better than what we had as far as making sure that the process with juveniles continues in the appropriate manner. As I've always said, it's best to catch them young because that keeps them out of the criminal system later on. You're gonna have some, they're gonna go on, but you can get a lot of them deterred. So with that being the case, that is just on its face is going to increase the workload for the probation department, the court, and the prosecutor's office until we figure out how we're going to replace what peer court did and helped out with those matters. But it's going to be a team effort between the schools, the SROs, law enforcement, probation, the court, the prosecutor's office. I believe we can come up with a program as good or better than peer court, but it's going to take a little bit of time and to get that lined around. So unfortunately, that was something that was yanked out from underneath us. And I'm not saying budget-wise or anything, I'm just saying it was something that kind of came suddenly, and we're having to deal with that as well. So it's kind of been a perfect storm with juveniles.
Say the paddle will fix 90% of that problem.
Pardon?
Bringing the paddle back would solve
Bring the paddle
90% of that problem.
It sure is a different world.
I mean, yeah, it is.
It's unfortunately something that we see as well that is increasing the court's caseload is CHINS cases, children in need of services.
Yeah.
I spend, like last week, I spent a Monday morning now on CHINS cases. We had fact findings that I spent part of a Friday afternoon on, which you have evidentiary hearing. And then when you have the emergency detention hearings, you have to have those within 48 hours. So no, I know it is a situation, unfortunately, that is not going to get better for the next few years, but is going to increase the caseload for everybody involved. DCS is feeling it. I know DCS's budget is not in front of here, but it's not uncommon for me to have 12 to 14 CHINS hearings of a morning, some of those being termination of parental rights, and so on and so forth. So it is, Mr. Somerville, I know exactly what you're saying on that, but right now we have to deal with the situation that we have.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
There'll be a discussion about that anyway. On the state level.
They have other pages too in probation. There's adult probation user fees. Looks like the only increase in that one is the officer's equipment. Looks like they get about $48,000 in that account each year. So the budget request falls within the revenue.
That one should have been fairly close to the same.
And then juvenile, they didn't change. They have about 2,000 a year, so, but they have a balance in there, so they're fine. They don't typically spend that one there. So that is all three of their budget sheets. Yeah.
Dave, I don't know if you're the guy who should answer this or not. It came up earlier this morning that you noticed there's a fund we do not budget for. Probation administration.
It's Fund 2,500.
2,500 probation administration.
I got two different, I got one that shows 10,000 in revenue this year, I got another one that shows more than that. I'm not-
This one says 12,111.
We did use the budget in that, but then it stopped for whatever reason.
I know it hasn't been there in a while.
Right.
Since I've been doing the budget.
But yes.
But help me because I mean, there's probation fees, when I look at these revenue things, there's probation fees from here, here. Some go to the general fund, some go to the clerk, some go to this adult probation that we just talked about the budget for, others go to the juvenile probation. Does anybody have a handle on what all these little $2 here, $20 here?
There is an administrative fee that the court assesses on a probation, and that's where the administrative fees would go.
And it goes into that, and what are these other fees then?
Where there's initial user fees,
Monthly
Okay.
user fee.
monthly user fees.
Okay. So this 2,500 fund is
Probation
that's
administration.
an administration fee that is charged on every probationer,
Yes,
and it goes into that fund, and we
Yes.
just don't budget for it.
So is the user's fee fund then from probation as well?
the user fee, yes,
Okay.
And I noticed the clerk gets some money too,
yes.
it goes into her record perpetuation fund, that's by
Yes.
statute. I
They,
figured
they,
that out.
they charge for, the financials that they do for probation. So there is an extra fee that's not on our financial agreement with the probationer that the clerk's office charges.
So that, how much is that administration?
It depends on the type of. The initial probation user fee and administrative probation user fee on each person is based on probation. If it is a misdemeanor, it's $30. If it's a felony, it's $50. And then you have the monthly user fee that's either $20 if it's a misdemeanor, $30 if it is a felony. And then, so those are the fees in addition to the fines, court cost, initial
Yeah,
public defender fees and everything like that. Those are in each case statutory and standard on that is administrated, and those are set by legislature.
and it's just odd because I didn't know until this morning that there's this whole other fund that's just been getting money put into it that we're not utilizing.
We used to utilize it.
Let's go back a ways.
Yeah, back when I started,
Okay.
part of my salary was paid out of that.
Okay.
And then over the years, unfortunately, a lot of our clientele don't pay their fines and fees or can't pay their
Sure.
fines and fees. So those funds have just been dwindling over the years.
So now it's got quite a bit of money in it because it hasn't been used.
Yeah, it's been a while, because I have my budget book from 2018.
So it
Oh
goes
my
back
gosh.
and forth. It's not even on Gateway, it's something we've ever
It's,
budgeted on
it,
Gateway.
nothing was expended back all the way to 2016 in it, so it's been quite a while since we've used that one.
It could have been because that fund got to the point where David couldn't be paid. I think we paid part of his salary out of that fund.
Kind of like
And
the
then,
juvenile one
so
when we
then,
used it to.
once it got to a certain point, we had to stop paying him out of that fund,
Mhm.
and he went to full-time in county jail.
Yeah, because we had a probation officer and adult fees too for a while.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. sat there for a while then.
But we did not advertise
No.
it this year, so it can be something we would have, to if you wanted to spend that money, that could then buy additional, but in future, we could start budgeting for it, so.
Anything else for probation? No? You have anything else?
I don't think I have anything to add. I think we said a lot at the last meeting, and
Okay.
we need the help, and anything good?
Thank you. Circuit Court is next.
Good afternoon, everyone. I don't know what order you want to go in, but I have one. Lane, do you want to come up? I brought Lane with me. She's my right arm on this, and to make sure that I don't do something wrong or say something wrong as far as that. There was the family court grant, and the reason that the reason I wanted to bring that up first, because it's probably the easiest on this situation. This was the fund that was in place before the ADR fund, which is also in the budget, the alternative dispute resolution. So the family court grant is zeroed out. It is done, it is over. There will be no other funds coming into this. We'll only be using the ADR. So the budget on the Fund 4921, the family court grant, that one is done.
Zeroed out.
It's zeroed out. So that one we can, did I say that right, Lane? Okay. I've made my notes on here, but sometimes I can't read my writing as much. So I just wanted to get that one up front and get it out of the way so we didn't have to worry about that one. So,
Did you use some of that money this year then?
yes, we used it. We had a family law case
Because I had my balances out, or as of the end of July, and it still said you had $682. So I just want to make sure you got to spend it.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Had to put some of the fees that were in there, one was for office supplies and then one was for attorney fees. The office supplies had never been used, so we added it to it and used it.
Perfect. All right, so we can no longer budget that one.
No longer needed. It is gone. It's out of here. It was replaced by the ADR.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions you have? I have, if other than the salaries and the other position, which the court believes is necessary for the operation of the court, I can go down through the increases and why we're increasing them, or why we need to increase them, and why they're budgeted increase. A lot of the stuff stayed the same throughout. The operating supplies, we increased the interpreter. We ran out, or have run out, or close to running out.
I think we have a transfer on that one.
Yeah.
Pardon?
We had a transfer.
Had to transfer
Yeah.
into it, but we're almost out again because we just scheduled another one and now there's only $100.
We unfortunately, or fortunately, I mean, I'm just stating it like it is. We have to use certified interpreters for hearings, and unfortunately, they don't come cheap. However, we have tried to keep the cost down by allowing them to appear by Zoom, as long as the attorney is okay with that. And so far, the attorneys that we have had, where we've had to use the interpreter by Zoom, that they have been fine with that. So we've tried to keep, because if they come, what is it, 600?
Just about, sometimes they're 300, but.
Depending on the length of the hearing, each pop that we have to have an interpreter. I'm trying to, we're kind of in a unique situation. individuals have a due process right to be brought to justice as swiftly as possible. So I would like to, if this increases in the rate in which it is to have like 1 day a month that I would have an interpreter that would be there for multiple hearings. Unfortunately, in what we have now, they don't come close enough together that I can put somebody's hearing off, because it would be potentially a violation of the due process by delaying the justice administration of their case. So we are, it's one of those things that if you talk to other counties, I've talked with Judge Campbell in Fountain County, and she does have a Spanish-speaking day when she has an interpreter come in, but they seem to have quite a few more non-English speaking than we do so far. And some of that is because they're closer in proximity to Danville, and there's quite a Hispanic population there. So that's the reason that increased, and as Lane said, we're about to run out again. The conference and seminars and postage under communication and transportation, we increased 1,000. Part of that is under the circumstances that things are just going up. Part of that is there has been some talk about Odyssey, updating the Odyssey from Odyssey 2017 to Odyssey 2023 in the third quarter, going into next year as well. So there will be some initial cost for training, even though they're going to training. The postage, and in with the postage, with Lane helped me out on this. The postage, of course, has gone up, as everybody knows, and has gone up substantially, and keeps going up. For too long, it's going to be cheaper to fly the stuff to the location of the person, either by drone or some other method, than it is going to be to mail it. So that is one of the reasons for the increases in that. We've also had we're mandatory that we have to send out the juror questionnaires. It's done quarterly. It's done by the state gives us a master list that we have to go by, and then we have to send them out. I've tried to, I've implemented some new policies as far as trying to keep from wasting postage by cutting off plea deadlines once the jury call goes out. As far as that, they can always come in and plead open under the law. But if we're going to have a trial and we're going to spend the money to have a trial, then we're going to have a trial.
Where's that being paid out of now? Because as of July 31st, there's nothing been paid out of postage.
Well, that was, you may remember from last year, Brenda, that we were talking about using it out of the jury,
Right.
big jury fund.
Is that where?
Yes,
Okay.
and that's where it came from, but I don't know for sure that that's actually how it's supposed to go.
Okay, I just, when you see the zeros, you're like,
Yeah.
you need, and you need more, it's like, okay.
Because 24 also says 0 for
Yeah.
postage.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
Maybe it would have been that.
but user fee, like out of the user fee, the jury
Jury expenses,
it
it doesn't
says
say postage, so.
almost $7,400 for
Yeah,
2024. So that would make sense if it's coming out of there. I guess, is that something we just need to check on to make sure we can use user fee fund?
I think we looked at that. Okay, you couldn't use it to send postage, but it's jury expenses. So if it's jury questionnaires,
I wasn't sure. I mean, we were told that we could, but I had never heard definitively that we could, but we have.
it probably just
so.
says something like it can be used for jury expenses, which is like, okay, well, subject
Kind of
to
broad.
Interpretation.
Yeah, subject to interpretation, but I think mailing out jury questionnaires is.
So if you're using it out of that fund, do we need to have it out of the general fund too, as well?
Well, the thing is I want to make sure we're not getting in trouble by using the wrong money. Right. So as far as budgeting that, until we can get an answer on whether we can utilize that, then, you know, I want to make sure that we have the money there that we need in case for some reason something said that we can't use it out of that.
And last year also, we spent a lot more, well, it was at the beginning of this year and the end of last year, we spent a lot more out of the jury, actual jury fund. I think it was 12 or 14 grand that we used, where we hadn't originally. So I would like to keep it in the, I mean, unless they say we can absolutely do that, but I mean, we used a big chunk.
Who's the they?
Who's the they?
Who's the
I
they?
don't know.
We keep talking about they, and I don't know who they is.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I mean, we've been audited, nobody said anything about using it that way, so I don't know that it's, I mean,
Yeah, because
somebody, I don't know, we did look at that at
We
one
did.
point, I
the
recall.
users fee fund has about 88,000 right now in the balance as of the end of July. So
Okay, because I'm showing as of June 6th of 2025, it had $84,686.90 in it.
So
You
mine,
have a- you
mine's
have a-
ray until the end of July. So,
So
that
yeah,
could
I'm
be
gonna
the
say
time.
you have an updated list, so that sounds,
It's close, at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
so that is the areas of the increase of the general that we increased. Everything else pretty much stayed the same except for salaries and the additional position.
Hey, Judge, can I ask another question? The equipment and maintenance agreement, is that your BIS,
Yes.
So-
That goes out all to them.
is that all at once?
Yes.
So whatever's been
Year we
spent
do
out of
that.
this year is all you needed?
Yes, I do
Okay.
believe so.
And the other thing is too, I'm looking
The
just,
equipment and maintenance agreement?
just for future reference that it may be coming back up at a later time. I am looking at it's supposed to come out in September. I've been talking with the Supreme Court, the Indiana Office of Court Services, and Joseph Fisher up there heads up the court grants, court technology grants. And so I'm looking to hopefully fill out a grant to get an update on the courtroom as far as electronics and stuff like that. Right now, the acoustics are so bad in there, people are bringing in their phones attached to their hearing aids so they can hear in court. Also, we've been having a lot of trouble with the interfacing between Zoom and BIS, which is the system we use now. And there is the FTR, for the record, is another system that BIS no longer has a monopoly. And I've looked into some of that. My mentor, Judge Reese in Warren County, went to that. And it is substantially cheaper depending on what program you want to use in the court. And when I say what program, meaning at the end of a hearing, do you want to push a button and print out a transcript of what had just occurred back to what we have currently now with BIS, but at a substantially lesser rate. So I just want to throw that out there because if I were to get the grant, of course I've notified the council that I get the grant. It is a reimbursement grant as far as that, and so I'm looking at, we're talking about the funds that we spend on BIS now. Hopefully in the future, probably not this year to get everything lined around, but hopefully in the future we'll be able to go to a system that is as good or better than BIS and costs less. That's what I'm shooting for.
We appreciate you looking at
But
grants.
just, I'm trying
It
on
helps.
that.
We
So,
appreciate that.
and also that if we do get that court grant, it costs the county nothing to update the electronics and get stuff lined around. So the courtroom is more user friendly for both litigants and parties that are involved. Sorry, I got off track there a little bit, but I just wanted to let you know. So that's one of the things I'm working on. Okay. What other questions do we have?
Is there anything on that page? It's
22 p.m.
Is there anything else on that circuit court page?
Let's see.
The next page was the user fee fund. We kind of just talked about that one. The budget is just usually sitting there in case they need it for something. It also falls within their fund balance right now, so. As long as you don't spend it all by the end of this year. It'll still be there next year. The next was the ADR, the alternative dispute resolution.
Yes, as of, and I know your numbers are probably gonna be more up to date, but as of June sixth, 2025, there was $14,839.20. That comes off, the increases on that is strictly through the filing fees. The amount we're requesting in that, nothing has changed from the 2024 budget. And all that money is simply generated by the filing fees. Am I right on that? Okay. And I will say this, one of the things that, and when we talked a little bit about the increase in the office furniture and fixtures, but the office equipment, we left it the same for 2025. We're in the process, about a month ago, Samantha's.
This was a couple months ago, but the courtroom just went down.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I'm trying to get the core grant. Our computer systems are crashing like crazy.
Okay.
They tried to hobble along. Basically, we're playing musical hard drives. Sam's computer went down. They tried to put a hard drive in, borrow a hard drive, put it in, try to get it to link along. Within 24 hours, it was down again. So we're having to update that. The court system, we're on we took one of the hard drives. They took one of the hard drives out of the office that was actually for the fourth person that we had in the office, put it in the courtroom so we could function in the courtroom. So some of the equipment we're going to have to be updating. We're having to get a new system for Sam because it just wouldn't take it any longer. It just went down. I think if Sam had to stare at a blue screen with a frowning face on it anymore, I was probably going to be run out of the courthouse. So I told them to get her a system and get it to working because when they're down, they're not able to do anything. They can't do it on the laptop because with the systems they use, they need multiple monitors to be able to work back and forth in the efficiency. So I think we've got hers back in line, but we've also, yours has been having some problems.
EAS said that we're about at.
We're at the max for what our system, for the length of time of which it will suffice as far as not having constant problems. And that's one of the reasons I say, like, I'm trying to get this grant for the courtroom so we can get some updated equipment in there. So, I mean, within the last month, I've had to cancel half a day's worth of hearings on different times because either the system won't record. I will say this, EAS has, if I call them, if they get a call from me, I know you're supposed to put in a help ticket and all that kind of stuff, but when I've got 20 people waiting out there in the courtroom, to put in a help ticket doesn't do me much good. So I reach out to them personally as well as put in a help ticket. And they've come from Terre Haute multiple times to get the system up and running so court can continue to function.
For the grant, when will you know if you get that or not?
The grant, it will come out towards the end of September. And then I think it's out for about 30 days, and then I submit it. And I don't have a definite date on when I'll know when.
For this year, hopefully, maybe.
Pardon?
You might know by the end of the year. Possibly.
I would hope so.
Okay.
But I don't know. This is the first time applying for that, and so I figure anything they can get will help as far as trying to get the courtroom updated so it's more user friendly.
No match money or?
No match money or anything. It's strictly a reimbursement grant. We pay for, I pay for, that's one of the reasons I say that I would have to come back before council, and then once it's done, you submit it, and then they reimburse.
We've done this before.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
All right. I think that's about it for your sheets. We have CASA in your section, but I assume that's
Kate, I imagine Caitlin Wells will be here,
We have her on the schedule.
and I noticed she's on the schedule, I think. when I look
Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday, okay.
On Wednesday.
We worked that with him, but he's gonna be on a conference.
I've got
That's
a,
okay, no problem.
yeah, I've got a mandatory conference, and I think.
Is there anything
change
you need
that.
to say about that one then, or anything? I mean, do you have anything for that at all?
No, I mean, Caitlin Wells has been doing a phenomenal job, as I stated, with the Chin's cases going up. The CASA is appointed in those cases to help out. They do reports, they do assist the court. They're in court every Chin's hearing we have. Now, if we have an emergency hearing and they can't be there, then they'll try to appear by Zoom. CASA has a presence in every Chin's hearing. They're involved in it. They do reports to the court. So they are essential. They do a wonderful job in helping out throughout the process. So that, I mean, I don't know that that really helps any, but I will say that they do assist the court greatly.
That's, the other sheet is the LCC, which they're supposed to be here Wednesday at 2. The drug-free community, the countermeasure, that's LCC, right? Yeah. Yep, LCC.
Be Elaine Pastoria, I can't think of the name.
Is it still Elaine?
No, it's not Elaine.
Yeah. Is that still Elaine?
No,
No?
I can't think of her name.
Okay. We'll find out Tuesday, or Wednesday at 2, I guess. Who shows up?
You already mentioned Pier Court.
Yes.
We got a budget turned in for Pier Court.
Pier Court is set, I think, for tomorrow.
Is it set for
It's in the
tomorrow?
prosecutor
At 1
section.
o'clock.
I have my schedule on that stuff. I don't see him on.
Mine says.
This is, because there was the one event, I had to change because I was on. This is the updated
Okay,
one.
okay.
Because I had to change because.
I don't.
Well, maybe it's not.
You don't
He
have.
has one with it on there, so we got some versions
Well,
of
I
this
think it's
floating
on the
around.
prosecutor side, but it's
But
not.
I don't,
This is the
It's
newly
not got
approved
its own
version.
soft
It's
shell.
not on there.
It's in.
Well,
it doesn't
I
have
don't
a
know what.
oh, I see it.
Yeah.
I got the question.
Yeah.
I had
It's
Pier
not
Court
stuck in the
here
page.
at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, that's what.
You have original one.
Oh, I
But
have
not
the original
anymore.
one.
This
Okay.
is 3, I think.
Okay.
Because who's coming for Pier Court then?
It'll be Bruce
Bruce, okay.
with the prosecutor's office.
Is it under the prosecutor's time slot then?
Yes, it is.
Yep. I don't have anything else. Does anybody? No? All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Did we use opioid money last year?
They had a grant. We were going to use opioid money for Clear Court, but she got a grant. So she used the grant money first, so the opioid money's still in there. So. Do we use opioid money for CASA? Do we use opioid money for CASA?
I don't know.
Misty?
The restricted money.
Misty?
maybe
Was, Tammy, do you want to see if she wants to move up? Since would you mind, I'm sorry, I should have grabbed
Oh, the
her
clerk?
myself. Well, yeah, tomorrow. E911's done.
Oh, just
Yeah,
switch it. For
not
now.
now, tomorrow, if she can move up.
Oh, today?
Not
Just
tomorrow.
We're gonna do it tomorrow.
If she wants to take
she wants to
E911
come in at
time slot.
11:15 tomorrow.
Oh,
Sorry. Well, E911 came in, so his.
And we did the courthouse
And we
already,
did the
too.
courthouse. So we could move.
They have like one of those flight boards in here. that
Yeah, we
tell
do, we need a
people-
white. Scott loves his whiteboard.
Yeah. Sorry. Go see the dentist.
you're either delayed or ahead of schedule here.
Yeah.
Get us out of here.
So we'll be sitting out there waiting to do it.
Yours is
This
gone.
is canceled.
I've been sitting all day.
Just like an airport.
Yeah.
Yeah. We might just see if they could all move up, Misty, if you don't mind. I appreciate it. Well, I was just gonna see if she could move over there yet. The clerk tonight to 11:15, the auditor could go at 1, the sheriff could go at 1:15. I mean, if they can, if they can't, they can't. They have
No, we have-
schedules, I understand.
The executive meeting at 3 tomorrow.
For me?
The executive meeting at 3 tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the meeting for the the Vermillion County Library, I just wanted to publicly announce it. We had to change that to September 30th instead of the 29th. It's still at 2 o'clock. They couldn't get it issued in the Tribune Star in time, so we had to bump that back a day. So that meeting's now September 30th. You don't have to. Is that okay?
If you could.
Okay.
Thank
All right,
you.
Thank you. Alright, so. Alright. Well, that is everybody plus a few extras. Alright, well, tomorrow at 10 a.m. we will start with the recorder. And unless anybody else has anything for this afternoon? Okay. Yep, we're good then. Thank you.
Thank you.